princess. Say hi. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video I'm actually going to be talking about on how I get ready the day before a photo session and what I bring with me to a photo session. First things first is I have my client fill out an agreement form. It states where the photo is going to be taking place at and the time that it will be and the cost of the photo shoot. Second thing is I make sure that I charge my batteries completely the night before. You don't want to go into a photo session and then you realize that your battery is dead. It'd be a worst nightmare. The next thing that I actually like to do is I make sure to neutralize my camera settings. I make sure that the ISO is at, for example, 400. Along with that, I go ahead and I format my SD card. Formatting meaning I delete everything off my SD card just because I don't want to mix up my photos along with the other photos I had taken previously. That's just my opinion and that's just how I like to work. I also like to format it just because you want to start off fresh and you want to make sure that you have a clean SD card and make sure that you have all the space that you need in order for you to take the photos. What I have been doing lately as well is I have been cleaning my camera. So here I have my camera actually. I have been cleaning it just because I like to disinfect it and just make sure that everything is good to go and clean. I disinfect the lenses, I disinfect the areas where I actually touch on the camera buttons as well. Just want to make sure that it's clean and sanitized and ready to go for whenever I do have my next session. One other thing that I actually like to do is I like to pack my bag. So I bring a backpack with me every time that I go on a photo session, and in there I just include my tripod that I like to record myself doing the photo session, sometimes with my phone, and I also include my camera lens, and of course you cannot forget your mini speaker. Where is my mini speaker? Here it is. Your mini speaker. I use a speaker just because I feel like it sets the mood and it sets the vibe and makes the client very comfortable and relaxed, and I just feel like background music you can never go wrong with. At the moment I am only using one lens. Let me go ahead and take this off my camera. I like to use the 35mm lens. I just feel like I love the way the cameras come out better through a 35mm lens. I've only had two lenses actually in my whole experience of photography, and this other one is the 50mm lens. I personally like the 35 better just because of the way it takes the photos. You can actually get more people within a photo and a group photo actually more than a 50mm lens. I feel like the 50mm is more like portraits. Of course the 35 is for portraits as well, but I just enjoy this one much more, the 35mm. I just love the way it takes the photos, and I have used it in weddings. I have used it in most of my sessions. In the beginning I would use the 50mm, and that was honestly, I used it probably in my senior session. I can remember right, that's all I believe I used it on. Also, before a photo session, I like to go ahead and just go into Pinterest. Pinterest has a variety of poses that you can actually use and incorporate into your photo session. I like to make a posing list before the day of the shoot, or I like to even have it ready a whole week ahead of time just so I can brainstorm more of the poses that I will probably use for that session. Another thing that I do is I print out a posing list and I bring it with me the day of the shoot, just because I want to make sure that I get all the poses that I have in mind, and sometimes I will forget, so that's why I have them written down. And if I do a pose and I forget this other pose, I can just go back to the posing list that I had and I will go ahead and just incorporate the ones that I have missed. Okay, so the day of the shoot. The day of the shoot, I like to arrive 15 minutes early, or at least maybe sometimes 30 minutes earlier than the time that the shoot is supposed to be scheduled for. The reason for this is because I like to go around, especially if it's outside, look around in the area that we're actually going to be taking the photos. If it might be a park, it might be an open field. I'm not sure if it's going to be busy or not, so I just like to go and see how busy it is and see if there's people around, and I just like to go and get my spot before somebody else is there. And I also like to prepare my session with the props. And let's say, for example, if I am doing a Christmas family photo session, I like to have everything set up for the client, and I just like to make everything ready for them so that they can, the second that they get there, they don't have to see me getting everything ready still. They just go ahead and sit down and we'll just get right into it. Another thing is, the day of the shoot, I like to review the details with the client. For example, their name. I like to get to know the client, and I like to use their names. I feel like this will be making a more of a bond towards you and the client, just so that they don't think that they're just another subject that you're taking a photo of. And I also like to speak to them before I actually start taking their photos. If there's any poses that they like for me to do, or any poses that they have in mind that they would like to use. Also, I like to visualize. When I arrive at the location, I like to see how I can make their photos pop. For example, what angle should I take the photos, or what is the best lighting in this area. I feel like this helps me to at least get some ideas on how the shoot will go. And sometimes it may not go as I visualized it, but that's okay. It's the challenging part, and the challenge is great because it tests your creativity. I just love being challenged, and because I just feel like it makes me do better, and it makes me to remember the mistakes that I have done in the past that I won't do again in the future. Just lastly, on my way to the photo session, while I'm in my car, I just like to listen to music. I am a huge music person. You will never see me in a room without any background, and it just sets my mood. It just gets me in a good vibe, and it just gets me pumped up for my photo session, which I'm already pumped up on my way there with or without music. But I just feel like music relaxes me big time, and it's a huge part of my routine, and I just enjoy it. Last but not least, my huge advice to you guys is to always make sure that you set your bag the night before the actual shoot. You don't want to go to a photo session without an SD card. I don't believe I mentioned this, but one thing that I always have double as is an SD card. You want to have more than one, so I bring one just in case. Let's say, God forbid, if there was something wrong with this SD card, then I have my other backup. To make sure that I bring an extra battery. You always want to make sure that you have an extra battery, especially, for example, if you're shooting weddings. You want to make sure that you have that extra backup, just because once you're taking photos on your external flash, which I'm going to show you that right now. This is the external flash that I use. I actually purchased this on Amazon, and it's amazing. I love it. I have no negative reviews towards it, and it was actually very affordable. I feel like compared to the other prices that you will see out there in the world, there's some that are 100 plus, and this was actually less than probably $50. As I was mentioning earlier, you always want to make sure that you have that extra battery, just because an external flash is going to die out. External flash, actually, for this one, it uses AA batteries, and once I am doing photos for a wedding, I always have backup AA batteries as well. One thing that I do bring with me to a wedding is I bring my camera strap, and this one is actually really cool because it actually has a little pocket, and in here, while I have it around me, if you're running out of batteries, you just go ahead and grab it out of here, put it in real quick, and you're good to go. So, you know, it's very handy, and I feel like it's helped me out a lot as well. Well, alrighty guys, I think that wraps up my video, and I hope that you guys find this video helpful to any of those who are interested in getting into photography or is already into photography. I know I'm not a professional, I know I am not the best, but these are just tips and tricks that have helped me out throughout my photo experience, and I just feel like sharing this with you guys helps you guys out as well. Alright guys, this concludes my video, and I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.